What's that? All right. It'll open our public hearing for the proposed budget for April 7, 2026. Call the roll. I ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman. Daney.
Here.
Gansey.
Here.
Hopkins. Laporte.
Here.
Swansky.
Here.
President Gunstein.
Here. If there's anybody here tonight that would like to speak to the proposed budget, please do so by stepping up to the podium. Please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. What's that?
Public hearing?
What's that?
We have the proposed budget public hearing.
Oh, that's, you're going to do a presentation first, right?
I just have a statement.
Okay.
Thank you, President Gunstein and Board of Trustees. The budget year begins May 1st, 2026, and goes through April 30th, 2027. Bartlett operates under the Budget Officer Act, which requires that the budget be adopted no later than May 1st of each year. Further discussion of the proposed budget is on the Committee of the Whole agenda for tonight. However, as the proposed budget stands now, the total proposed budget for fiscal year 2026-27 is $8,352,921. This is a 2% increase from the last year's budget and can be contributed to the increased costs to provide core municipal services, the purchase of water from the DuPage Water Commission, and police personnel costs. The total operating budget is $62.1 million. Operating expenditures can be divided into 5 primary uses. About 34% of the operating expenditures are for public safety. Public works is about 42%, and that includes streets, water, sewer, and parking. The remaining 24% is divided among general government, golf, and debt service. The capital portion of the proposed budget is $20.3 million, down from $21.4 million in the prior year. The capital portion of the budget varies from year to year based on the individual projects we have scheduled. $3.4 million of the proposed capital projects in the 26-27 budget relate to water projects such as the water main lead service replacement program. There is $2.6 million in the budget for sewer projects such as the annual sanitary sewer system rehabilitation program and the Campanelli lift station rehabilitation. Other projects include the annual street maintenance program, stormwater system improvements, bike path improvements, and improvements in the Bluff City and Lake Street corridor TIFs. The proposed general corporate property tax levy is budgeted to remain the same as the prior year. This concludes my remarks, and the staff is prepared to respond to questions from the public.
Thank you. If there's anybody in the public that would like to address the board, please do so by stepping up to the podium. Please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. State your name and address. All right. For the record, we have nobody here. Anybody online? No? All right. That'll close the public hearing. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Laporte. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman.
Yes.
Daney.
Yes.
Gansey.
Yes.
Hopkins. Laporte.
Yes.
Swansky.
Yes.
We are adjourned. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village Bartlett Board meeting for April 7, 2026. I ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman.
Here.
Daney.
Here.
Gansey.
Here.
Hopkins.
Here.
Laporte.
Here.
Swansky.
Here.
President Gunstein.
Here. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, that'll take us to our town hall portion of the meeting. If anybody would like to address the board, please do so by stepping up to the podium. State your name, address, and please try to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. If there's anybody here that would like to address the board? No? All right. That'll close the town hall portion and take us to the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk will be considered routine and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a board member so requests, in which event that item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at an appropriate time in the agenda. With that said, would anybody like to add or remove anything from the consent agenda?
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to add items F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, and F9. Well, there's a couple there that are on the agenda. I've reviewed these, and they're either routine type of services, or they're all under budget, and I see no reason they need to be discussed, and I'd like to put them on consent.
Did that include number 9?
I would like to leave F9 off since we're hearing from the consultant.
Okay? There you
All
go.
right. Any comments or concerns on that?
I have one quick question about the bills list. I know on the bills list, there was a $250,000 payment for I think the streetscape. Is that the final payment? No? Okay.
All right. With that said, anybody else like to add or remove anything? I think that's everything, so, can I get a motion to approve, to amend the consent agenda?
I'll move to,
Moved by trustee Daney. Second. Second by trustee Bannerman, to include F1, F2, F3, F4 to the consent agenda. Ask clerk, please call the roll.
well, hold it, there's more, F5,
Those are
F6.
already on.
We're already on.
Okay, all right, I'm with you, gotcha.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Hopkins? Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes,
Gansey?
Yes.
Motion carries. Can I get a motion to approve the amended consent?
so moved.
Moved by trustee Daney, seconded by? Second. Batterman. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Laporte?
Yes.
Swansky?
Yes.
Betterman?
Yes.
Daney?
Yes.
Gansey?
Yes.
Hopkins?
That motion carries. That'll take us to our treasurer's report. Tonight we have none. President's report. And I will read this off, and then I'm going to ask. April is Autism Awareness Month, whereas autism spectrum disorder is a complex lifelong development condition that typically appears during early childhood and can impact a person's social skills, communication, and self-regulation. And whereas, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 1 in 31 children aged 8 in the year 2000, at age 8 in the year 2022 in the United States is identified with autism spectrum disorder, and 3 times more common among boys than girls, highlighting the importance of early screening and intervention. And whereas autism affects a diverse group of individuals, and while there is no known single cause, early diagnosis and access to appropriate supportive services, therapies can significantly improve the outcome and quality of life. And whereas our community is made stronger by the unique talents, perspectives, and contributions of individuals on the autism spectrum who deserve to live in a world where they are fully included and valued. And whereas the goal of this month is not only to raise awareness, but to foster true acceptance, ensuring that all residents with autism have the opportunity to lead fulfilling, independent lives and reach their greatest potential. And whereas we recognize the dedication of the families, the educators, and the advocates who work tirelessly to provide support and create an environment of understanding and belonging. Now, therefore, I, Dan Gunstein, President of the Village of Bartlett, Cook, DuPage, and Kane Counties, do hereby proclaim April as Autism Awareness Month in the Village of Bartlett and encourage all residents to learn more about autism and to join in the efforts to build a more inclusive, supportive community for everyone. And with that said, I'm going to turn this over to Sergeant Johnson for his presentation on the Blue Envelope Program. So thank you.
Thank you, President Gunstein. So what I'd like to explain to you guys and show you guys in a little bit is a program called the Blue Envelope Program in partnership with the Autism Hero Project. we aim to improve communication between individuals in our town that have communication issues when they come into contact with law enforcement or any other emergency personnel. So what the Blue Envelope program is its main goal is to provide smoother, kind of like a smoother interaction, right? So inside this blue envelope, you're going to have the driver essentially on a traffic stop. So they get stopped, they're going to put in information such as driver's license, insurance card, emergency contact information, and what they'll do is then they will present that to the officer or any emergency personnel that will also they can also mark on the envelope that they have some type of communicative disorder or a harder time communicating with emergency personnel. So what that's going to do is it's going to just improve communication between an officer, a fireman, and the driver on the autism spectrum or somebody with communication issues. So we have a sample of what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Great idea.
How many other communities are doing this?
So there are a lot of other communities doing this now. Elgin kind of kicked it off.
Okay.
Naperville, Batavia just joined. One of the Heights just joined. I think it's like Harvard Heights or something like that. But DuPage County Sheriff's Office just did theirs last week. So this program is just becoming huge right now. So thank you for your proclamation, and thank you.
I'm very impressed by it. It definitely answers a lot of questions for the police officers before things can get out of hand or misconstrued.
Yes, absolutely.
Great job in promoting
Thank you.
this.
Thank you for your time.
How do people get an envelope?
So what they can do, residents can come to the police department. It's going to be in the records department since we're open 24/7. Anybody, it's free. You don't have to register. We don't ask for any proof or anything like that. It's free. You just come in, you grab a couple envelopes, and they're available to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. All right. That'll take us to questions to staff. Does anybody have any questions for staff?
I've got a couple of things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hold on, Ray. I apologize. I missed one. That'll take us to our food and beverage consultant introduction.
Okay. Here we go.
I didn't mean to cut you out of that.
It's okay. Welcome. I want to thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you and coming in from Tulsa, Oklahoma, just to kind of, so you can put a face to what we're actually proposing for you. Sometimes we're just a piece of paper with a number. So I thought we'd give you a little bit more introduction than just that. I've been consulting most people start consulting when they get gray hair. I decided to start 32 years ago. So I've been consulting for 32 years. We've worked with over 1,000 projects in 49 states. Wyoming? Nope. Wyoming's the last one. We've been trying. We're giving a discount for Wyoming if we can get that one. 5 continents as well. And over a third of those projects are golf related because golf is very unique. It has, as you can see, I just asked you this question. We always ask everybody, when was the last time you had dinner at a golf course? Which means we have a great opportunity. Right? So just looking at things like that golf has its own different things. We have banquets, we have a la carte, we have breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then the next day we could just have nothing, and then we've got a huge golf outing the next day. So it's having a lot of ins and outs, unlike the restaurant that I just ate at that basically has open from 11 to 9 each day, and they go through operations, and they have historical data, and they can do a really nice job with that. Golf has a lot more challenges in being able to do multitude of different things in just one single day. And so we kind of bring that knowledge of the experience that we've had. Arrowhead's one of the courses we worked with. Cog Hill's another course we've worked with in your area. We have 3 design projects going in 3 different states right now as well. So we're like in it, always in to see how we can take it up to the next level. And what we talked about in my thing where we said, hey, if you're at an 8, how do we get to a 9? That was one of the questions that came up. And it's really just about getting better. Like, if we're at this level, how do we get to this level? And if we're at this level, what do we do to get to this level? So that's part of what we want to just look at as a whole in looking into that. But we don't want to get too much into marketing right off the bat until we get a sense of where we are financially. So, for example, if something is losing, I'll take a number of $100,000, and if we continue to just go drive the revenue line, well, for every dollar, we're losing $1.10. So that's not a really good model to go push the revenue line. Let's go get the expense line covered first, take a good look at that to see if we can improve on that before we start generating into the marketing sector of that, of looking at the restaurants and the catering as well. So I just wanted to open up, just give you a little bit of introduction about me, and then you get the direct questions, anything that you have concerns or questions about, how we can maybe help you with this situation.
John? So have you done any of these projects in Illinois?
We've done, Illinois is our #1 state
Okay.
of work, more than any state in the U.S. A lot of it was when I first started doing the consulting part, we got the chance to speak to NRPA, and we had several years together with that, and so we got into a lot of park districts out here. We also managed 5 water park operations at one point in time in 2007, and then most recently is Arrowhead was the most recent before COVID that we got a chance to. And implementing those ideas there was reduction of 15% in costs. Bottom line was increased by over $100,000 by just one of our single visits.
Do you implement strategies that are good for the long term and it's not based on personnel? So say, for example, there's turnover in 5 years. The policies and procedures that you implement now, are they good forever?
For the most part, I mean, obviously menus change, so and each chef is going to kind of have their own, kind of bringing in their back of the house things about matching what they want to do with their talents. But a lot of it can be pretty much, once you have the systems in place, they're pretty steady. Training for servers isn't going to change much over the next 5 years. We're not going to have anything crazy there. So a lot of it does stay in place in that way.
And have the facilities that you've consulted with been successful post-consultation?
Yeah, I mean, that's the part of this. I mean, the thing that we always look at is what we don't want to do is come in and go, God, it was so great seeing those consultants. That was great, let's get back to work. And our report comes 2 weeks later and just gets shelved, right? We actually built into the process here of a follow-up, because what we want to do is do the initial consult and make sure that all that stuff gets done so that we can go to the next level, which is the marketing and developing and expanding the business. So they also know that they're coming back. So we know that whatever we agreed to in the final meeting, to timelines to get certain parts done so that we can move on to the next phases of it, everyone knows what that is in the meeting before we leave. Make it very, very clear. So it's not like, wait, that wasn't in the report, or they never shared that with me, or anything like that. Everything is very clear as we leave to make sure that everyone knows we're all on the same page.
So I understand our scope is just looking at food and beverage, but I know in the memo it did mention that sometimes we can't always separate from the golf course. What are some of those things that can't be separated that you'd be looking at?
I mean, every course has its own unique layout. I think that we got a chance to tour, so I went over there at 5 o'clock today just to kind of look around and see, and just to get a sense of, weddings are who wants to do it inside a hotel with windows, right? We have a great view. We have a great access into a beautiful environment and a space, but we have some challenges we'd love to do an outdoor wedding, but it's going to be right by the 10th tee. So how do we work around that? People want to do pictures out there. Well, we don't really we need to go find a location for them to do that without interrupting the golf aspect, right? So that's where they kind of crossover, is how do we work together in creating an environment that is unique, because everyone's looking for a wedding that's not the same. I want to do something unique, and golf has that opportunity already with the views that you get when you walk in the door. So how can we take advantage of the picturesque part and be a one-stop shop? Right now the seating is for like 80 when we have 150, so what do we do with that for the wedding initial part? Just things that we need to just take a look at based upon 10 minutes of observation of being over at the club.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What are some of the largest challenges you've had to overcome with consulting at some of these park district or golf courses?
Personnel.
Pushback?
But a lot of it is just, when we bring a perspective, here's where people have worked in their environment. If you take a circle and a pie, they have a pie that's, they've worked a long time, but it's basically been in 1, 2, 3, 5 locations. I've been to over 1,000 now. I've been blessed to be able to work with 1,000 projects and be able to take what we take from each place and say, God, if I get one little idea here, one little idea here, and then just kind of show, you know, without, no one's doing anything wrong. I mean, that's the thing. If you look at something, go, is somebody doing something wrong? Do you think that somebody calls up and goes, oh, I'd like to do a wedding. Oh, no, I'm not available, you know, or whatever. No, your team's not doing that, right? So what is it that we can find in the people side to maybe them to shift a little bit, because we're going to have some ideas that are going to be different, or we wouldn't be here as consultants, right? So getting the buy-in is critical, and just working with the personnel for them to get, you know, maybe a little shift here and a little shift there. And we've had some incredible results on some of that, of just, because it is partly coaching and partly just giving some people some different ideas and perspectives that they haven't seen before.
So you're looking at the weddings and the banquet. You'll also look at the midway, the halfway house, the course, because if we do 35,000 rounds of golf, there's got to be opportunity there.
$1. Let's just take $1.
$1.
Right? How do we get just 1 out of 4 purchasing something? That's all, right? That's all that we're asking. Maybe there's a way that we can get all 4 of them to purchase something. So, and I think that's all that needs to be, you know, analyzed. I mean, and I always look at it saying, how do we get a dollar or two? Because $1 or 2 is going to cover what we're talking about here.
Gotcha.
Overall. So what's the low-hanging fruit? You know, what is the best opportunity? That's what we get to kind of dive in with the team and work together to see what we can do to take it to the next level. Sometimes third party can be helpful with that too. If there's some things in that, I mean, look, we go in through the kitchen just briefly, and you go in the back and it's like, okay, so we have a convection oven from 2000 that's 26 years old, and that's his cooking apparatus for all of his banquets. So can we give him another tool? Because you have the number one, Rationale is the number one combi company in the United States. It happens to be 20 minutes from your location, right? And those combis will take a prime rib that if it's just 30 seconds on this. Here's a prime rib, it's 10 pounds. You cook it in a convection oven, you're gonna get an 8-pound rib. 20% loss, 80% yield. You put that same prime rib in a combi, you get 9.2 pounds of prime rib, because all that moisture stays in the meat. When you cut it through, it's red all the way through. How do you want your prime rib to look when we're presenting to all of our people? They probably need the tools to do this. Not a lot. We're not coming in and saying blow up the kitchen. What we're saying is there's some key things that could be really helpful. And I know we get tied up in budgets and, oh my gosh, what can we do? And sometimes a little third-party guy comes in here and says, hey, can we put a little maintenance and repair in this, and so that we can put out better product? Because we can only do with the tools that we have. And it's hard to do a hammer with a rock, to put a nail in. I'd rather have a hammer.
You have to spend money to make money.
Exactly.
Does your scope of work encompass the food costs and the beverage costs?
Where we start,
That's where you start, okay.
We really got to get into the, blocking and tackling of food and beverage, right? Of just getting to the basics and make sure that we're on point there. And then because that's part of this is, if there's a subsidy that we're looking at, how can we challenge that in the easiest way without just passing it on to the guests? Not just like, we'll raise everything $2. That's not really a solution. There are other ways to get to that point. And especially that we know when we have banquets at $100 a plate, and we know what chicken, rice, and a vegetable costs, which we can't do at a la carte. You can't sell $100 chicken, rice, and a vegetable, but you sure can at a wedding. So taking advantage of where we can, of other opportunities there, getting a chance to meet with the team as far as what they're doing to promote events. And I mean, look, you're still doing 30 weddings right now. That's great. That's nothing wrong with that number. How can we do 40? That's the key thing to moving this forward.
Do we have an identity crisis, differentiating banquet versus the 19th hole with regards to a bar, restaurant?
First glance, branding. Who are we? What are we known for? What's our go-to item when you walk into that place as a golfer? How can I get you to stay after to drink here instead of drinking somewhere else? Those things are all factors in this. And if you look at it as, anyone know what the name of the golf course restaurant is? Right, so part of it should be, we should have that top of our head.
That's all I know it is.
So that's one of the opportunities, because without a brand, if you just walk down a restaurant that says restaurant, where are you going to eat? Well, we know what the brew house is, very clear what that brand is, right? We serve beer here. So what are we known for? What's our signature item? What's our go-to? Is something that needs to be determined out of this. And then you do a reset of the menus and present it, through a free event or a low-cost event to get people excited about what you're doing.
Renee, do you have any questions online?
No, thank you. And thank you for asking if we knew what the name of the golf course restaurant was.
We have a restaurant?
Did we?
We have a restaurant.
Well, we appreciate you being here this evening, but
This is very interesting. Thank you.
we appreciate you being here this evening, but there's one thing that I really want to tell you right now. Don't have them change the way they make my cocktails at Bartlett Hills.
Is it a club pour? Is it a country club pour?
No comment. What about utilizing other parts? I always felt personally the driving range could generate more income with outside, but there's always tends to be a conflict with the golf. Can we generate or have other country or golf courses generated revenue off the driving range outside of normal use?
Well, I mean, we've certainly seen some golf concepts do that, right? By just setting up operations to do that are only for big driving ranges. Your distance is a little tricky, so it's not convenient necessarily to say, oh, I'd like a drink, and you gotta walk way over there to go get it. Halfway house isn't too far away, but it's hard, without building something out there that it's convenient, because we like things that are convenient for us. I don't like walking far. So looking into it to see what there might be some opportunities there.
Besides the menu, Mike, are you going to be looking at like staff and schedules and how to get that organized?
Yeah, and part of this too that makes this a little tough as well is if we do a volume, let's just say whatever the number is, $1 million, and we can go to $1.3 million, more than likely I'm not changing my management team. So my percentage of payroll of my management is a pretty big number at $1 million, but at $1.3 million it's less, and $1.5 million it's less. Right, so if I'm spending, so that's part of this, looking at the whole operation, we have to kind of take a look at, because that's part of the payroll number, and that's a fixed cost, right? That's not variable. So the variable portion of it is how much people are in the back of the house, in front of the house, but again, we have to run a minimum. There's always going to be a cook, there's always going to be a server or two, there's always going to be a bartender, and we just don't want that with an empty restaurant.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the seasonal help, summertime. And we have some of that already. I
And then
see some of those numbers.
We will definitely look at the payroll number that's the prime costs are food and labor, right, for a restaurant. So where are we with our prime costs compared to national averages of courses across the country? Where do we fit in with that? Is all stuff that we'll be able to provide, for sure.
I was going to say, being in the Chicago, so we only have May through October. What have other golf courses done, or look into what have other golf courses done to generate income during the winter?
There are opportunities to make a restaurant work in a golf setting where you kind of take advantage of what you are. So we all know of Fish Fridays, and we talked about this a little bit, even Scott and I were talking about this earlier. Is there an opportunity with that? Because it ties in with the Midwest. Well, there's other people doing it, but look, we can do it. If we get our foot in the door again and can take something on that, take that on. But again, we're struggled for seating there too. We only do 35 seats inside right now in the restaurant, is what I kind of counted in there.
So you're the 19th hole, that part of the restaurant, not the banquet hall, right?
The separate portion there, yes. But and we may be able to spill out there because if it's a Friday event, now you're not so, when you walk into a banquet room and you know it's not a restaurant, that's not a good feeling when to try to make that into that, because you want it convertible, right? You want to take this and make it into this or small or however we want to do banquet. Well, it's hard to seat you at that same table to feel comfortable in an a la carte setting. But when we have, say, if we have a fish fry and it's jamming busy, it's okay to go to the extra seating area to do that. So that's how that can work.
So you're saying we could do the fish fry in the golf bar area and a banquet could go on at the same time?
Absolutely. A la carte has to be able to go on during, otherwise as a golfer, you're like, oh, they have a wedding. I guess we're drinking somewhere else. We have a separate kitchen line for a la carte and a separate line for catering. So we can still run things simultaneously.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, does anybody else have any questions?
I have
It's
one
the
question.
grill room, right? Is that the name?
The grill room?
Grill room?
Are we looking online?
Well, so looking at the menu.
Yeah, and again, if that's it, then let's signage it and let people know about it, and let's, that's the whole thing about when we're making that decision as a family of four, where are we going to eat? The golf course is probably not the best name. Let's give it a brand and let's be known for what we want to do there. To eat there.
Could we please have your name again for the record?
I'm sorry, Michael Holtzman.
Okay, that's what I thought. So
Yeah.
I read your letters of recommendation, and they're outstanding, so
Thank you.
thank you.
So if we don't have any other questions, I want to thank you for flying in to meet us personally. It means a lot. I'm looking forward to this study being done and the feedback that you're going to bring to us. I think you'll find that this board's open to a lot of suggestions to turn things around. So I appreciate it. And what's the time frame on that?
I think we were just discussing some potential dates, probably in about 3 weeks. We can get it scheduled in.
Oh, okay.
First week of May, and hopefully we can get some of the things implemented before the season's over. That would be great.
Are you like the John Taffer of golf courses?
Yes.
Our rescue?
That's it.
We're just a lot quieter, that's all.
All right.
I won't come in yelling and screaming, but
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
thanks, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, it's my turn.
Now that'll take us to questions for staff.
Got a couple of things. I'd like to recognize a couple of people with their birthdays. We have Christy Stone, her birthday's on the 25th of this month. And we also have, Natifer, our deputy chief, his birthday's on the 28th of the month. So congratulations and happy birthday to you all. And there's something else, really, I going through the April anniversaries, and I'm looking at some of the names. And I'm amazed, we have 3 people here that, let me look. We have, 3 people here that have over 30 years of service, which I think is amazing. We have Brian, I'm probably not going to pronounce the last names, Kopolis. He has 31 years of service with the village. And then we have Cheryl Peterson. She has 33 years of service. And Vicki McDermott, who is Ray McDermott's wife, who I play golf with, she has 33 years of service, and she's always at Bartlett Hills on Wednesday when we're on the simulator because she plays in the card games with the other girls. So congratulations to all of you. So thank you very much. I'm done.
Thank you, Trustee. Anybody else have anything for staff? Renee?
No, thank you.
All right. All right, that'll take us to adjournment.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, number 90.
Public Works, yeah,
Myself, so
right.
it'll take us to standing committee reports. Standing committee report, Chairman Daney.
Right, and that's F9, that's Bartlett Hills Food and Beverage Consultant Agreement. And based on what we heard this evening, I move to approve the agreement between the Village of Bartlett and the Holzman Group.
Can I get a second?
Need a second.
Second. All right, any
Second.
questions? Moved by Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Batterman. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Sawanski,
Yes.
Betterman,
Yes.
Daney,
Yes.
Gansey,
Yes.
Hopkins, Laporte.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right. It'll take us to new business. Anybody have any new business they'd like to discuss? No? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
By Trustee Daney, second by Trustee Laporte. Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Betterman,
Yes.
Daney,
Yes.
Gansey,
Yes.
Hopkins, Laporte,
Yes.
Sawanski.
Yes.
We are adjourned.